They nailed it. Simone Sanders, Townsend, and Matthew Dowd got it right. And you know who doesn't have it? Joe Manchon. Joe Manchon is now saying, yes, I am open to run for president of the United States as the third party or who knows what. But I tell you what, check this piece out because they nail it. There is no room for him, but it's not only that there's no room for him, that is not who the country says that they want. Check this out. We'll take it on the other side.
We talked about earlier, Senator Joe Manchin says he is absolutely considering running for president. Here's what he told our colleague, Kristen Welker, about what he thinks of President Biden.
As you sit here today, do you think President Biden and Vice President Harris are the strongest ticket to represent the Democratic Party in 2024?
Not in the centrist part. No, I don't. And they know how I feel. This is not I do not believe that they are basically where Joe Biden has come from, and just go back to the campaign. He's been here for long. He understands the system. And I think he's a good man. And we have good conversations. We just disagree. You're going too far left.
Simone and Matthew is still here. Matthew, Joe Manchon is making this argument that we need this fresh, new voice. He's just a few years younger than Biden and Trump, and he's been around Washington for years. What's so new about him?
Well, he's held political office for decades, so I don't know what actually he thinks he's going to bring new and fresh to this. That's the first thing. The second thing is, and I think you and I have had this conversation, I don't know what he's actually talking about the center of the country, because he may be unfamiliar with what the center of the country is. But almost on every major issue, Joe Biden is in the center, is exact center of the country. He's in the center of the country on Roe versus Wade. He's in the center of the country on common sense gun reform. He's in the center of the country on raising the minimum wage and higher taxes on the wealthy. He's in the center of the country on what to do in international politics. He's the center in the country on protecting our democracy. I actually don't know what center he's talking about. And the interesting thing about Joe Manchon to me is he keeps talking about the center of the country. Well, the center of the country wants something done on climate change. He helped defeat that in significant ways. The center of the country wants something done more seriously on gun reform. He's prevented that from happening. And the center of the country wanted Roe versus Wade enshrined in the law. And because his standing up for the rules of the Senate, he's prevented that from happening. So I don't know what center he's actually talking about.
Simone, what's your take? I mean, Joe Manchin being pro-coal and pro-gun, that doesn't put him in the center. That puts him in the right.
The center of the country also wanted voting rights legislation passed, which was held up because of the filibuster, which Senator Manchin would not support getting rid of. Joe Manchin is not somebody that young people are going to vote for. Joe Manchin is not someone that maybe some of these disaffected Democrats, if that's a word we're going to use, who are, running around saying, oh, I need another option. I don't think Joe Manchin is going to be their other option.
Besides Donald Trump's MAGA base, who are down with him taking us on the freeway to fascism, I want to talk about, these recent polls, and he's doing well. These other voters who are open to voting for Trump, who say they're unhappy with the economy. What is Donald Trump offering them that Biden is not?
Well, I mean, that's the logical question. But I think when we come to elections, emotions take over to a large degree and people go on a sort of a gut sense of things. And so I think part of the problem, with the Biden effort thus far, and though I think it's going to shift, is they're trying to break an emotional connection with a rational argument about the economy. That's not going to work. It's not going to work at all. You have to redefine the race in a way that you are on firmer ground in this campaign. As I said, in 2004, the number one issue was the economy. And I was chief strategist for Bush. We didn't talk about the economy at all. We didn't talk about it at all. We talked about national security because we knew that we were on firmer ground in that. And so I think the voters, they're upset. They see a disruptive world. They don't know where to turn. They're dissatisfied with both major party candidates. Both major party candidates among independents have high negative ratings in this. And so I think it's going to come down to is what is the issue that Joe Biden and the Biden campaign wants to make this a fundamental argument about? My argument would be They make it about democracy and the future of our country and all the freedoms that people have, because they're going to be taken away if Donald Trump gets back into office. That's what they ought to make the argument about.
Now, folks, I hope Joe Biden is listening. I hope he's heeding the warning from both Dowd and Sanders Townsend, because you know what? This is starting to get serious. We need to take back control of the message. We do not relegate that to anyone.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel. And number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.